through my veins. On the pitch where the glory remains, the cockerel stands brave on the crest. North London pride, this ain't no jest. From lane to the new shining ground, echo chants where the legends are found. Heroes carved in the heart of time, we march on through grit and grime. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner and let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Echoes of King and Greaves in the air. Every goal, the sound declares. Heartbeats pound like a drummer's song, marching forward, fierce and strong. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire.
Hi, good evening, guys, and welcome to THFC Till I Die, home of Tottenham past present, and welcome to Final Score. Welcome to a delayed Final Score. We should have gone out yesterday. I do apologise. Yeah, I didn't realise I meant to put it on for tonight, and I accidentally put it on for yesterday. So I do apologise. But we're all here talking about the game we watched yesterday. Of course, the 2-2 draw away to Brighton, where it gave me time to reflect on the game and how I saw how I was going through it, seeing it real time to looking at a match of the day. Do you know what? I think that was a pretty damn good performance, and we showed that we can come back. I think last year we would not have come back from 2-0 down. I think we would have faltered. I think we would have fell apart. But again, we proved that we got the fight under Thomas Frank. He changed a few things tactically. Yes, not every player played well yesterday. There was a few players that did not play well. But there's a few that did. So look, for me, I think if you look at the bigger picture, I think it was a better result. Let me take that down. Sorry, guys. Yeah. Actually, I will be back to normal next week. So I'll be back in my own little cubby hole. So I'm looking forward to getting back there. Believe me, bit of home comfort. But we've had if you look at the last week, which we're going to talk about tomorrow, there's a new show coming out tomorrow night, guys, 8:00. It is called the Spurs Recap, as we look back at the last week at Tottenham. Look at the game for the West Ham game. We're going to go through the Villarreal game, and we're going to go through the game we had Brighton, but also we're going to look ahead to what's ahead for Spurs this week coming up. We've got the League Cup game against Doncaster Rovers, and then we've got the Saturday night game, 8:00. away to Wolves. So it should be very, very interesting what we've got coming up. And then, of course, the following week, we're back with Champions League. And I'm looking forward to these 2 games a week. I really am. What I'm going to say was, this is big up to Mrs. Tron, who is a member. Big up to her. She says, please like and sub and pick up your memberships. You do. There is the link for your membership, guys. It is pinned to the top of the chat. Do that, and there's a load of membership. There's a membership show going out tomorrow night, tomorrow at 4:00. And there's a membership site show going out on Tuesday for the pre-game for the game on Wednesday against Doncaster Rovers. Or go out to members first, and then it will be uploaded to non-members. But if you want to see it first and see it live first, become a member. It helps us. You're going to get great shows with members, and and be a bit like Wayne. Wayne's a member. Wayne is in all the shows he gets to see. So do that first piece. He says, good evening, folks. Hope you're all good and having a great Sunday. Do you know what, Wayne? I feel a bit tired today, actually. I feel a little bit drained after yesterday, the emotions of the game. But look, it is what it is, and we're here. We've got a point. We're still sort of, we're playing well. And are we second? No, we're third because Arsenal got the draw earlier. And then he said, missed about 20 minutes, but wasn't impressed with Kudos in the first half, but barely even jogged after the players stood around too much for me. I saw it a bit differently. I thought Kudos was probably the best player in the pitch in the first half. I thought also Udogie as well. I thought Vicario was poor. I thought the midfield looked a little bit leggy. I thought Bentancur was very poor yesterday. It wasn't until the second half to tactically change something that Xavi came on. Xavi sparked us into some sort of life. But look, it was a good comeback, and that's what we want to see. And I don't know about you, Wayne, but it's nice to see. Last season, we would have lost this. We really would have lost the game. And to come back 2-2 and still be third in the league. When I call it, big up to you, Jared, as well. Big up to you, Wayne. Big up, Jake. It says 2 points drop. That's the hard truth if you want top 6. Yeah, it's 2 points drop, but Arsenal draw points today against Man City. Man City and Arsenal drew, so they've dropped points already. Liverpool, of course, are going to win. They've won 5 out of 5, so Liverpool are going to win probably every week. But look, I don't expect Liverpool to drop many points. But if you look at the team around us, Arsenal drop points. Man City dropped points. Technically, we dropped points, but I think we got the better. I think we got the better performance out of it. I think the performance for me is key for me. It's the performance that was better for me. But I don't know what you guys think. Just very quickly on Thomas Frank and what he is bringing to the team and what is different from last season under Ange. I think there's a sort of we're sort of more organized than we were under Ange. And I think looking back at last season and me being so Ange in and me being so sort of, very protective over Ange, that you can look back at it and raise tinted glasses and think, yeah, I was right. And I have to say I was wrong, because I think a lot of people saw that we were so spineless, I think, in some games, and so unorganized, and so sort of we bottled it a few times. And when we did go 1-0 down, it was a case of heads dropped, and it's like, oh, we're going to lose anyway, so what's the point? What I saw yesterday after going 2-0 down in half an hour, I saw a team that, right, we're not going to give up. We're not going to stop. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep fighting, and we're going to keep fighting until we get something out of this game. And I have to say, they did that. They did that. And I think if you look at the league, I keep saying it, the league is your bread and butter. You can win a European trophy. You can win cups, grand. But your bread and butter is the league. Your bread and butter is where you earn your money. Where you finish in that league, you earn money. And I think people seem to forget that. I think we got caught up with the glory of winning the Europa League, which, I'm still buzzing over. But you've got to be truthful to yourself. You've got to look at the league, and the league wasn't good enough. Now, is it an improvement this year? Yes, it is an improvement this year. It's a hell of an improvement. You look at the where we are in the league, you look at how we're playing. Yes, it's not the most attractive football in the world, okay? And it's not the most attacking football in the world. But we've started off quite well. We've only conceded 3 goals in the first 5 games, and we've scored 10 goals in the first 5 games. Thomas Frank brings something different, and I think that's what we've been after. And I think Thomas Frank's going to be a success at Tottenham. I really do. But it's now down to the board, the new owners. Well, not new owners, but the Lewis family now backing Thomas Frank with the players he needs for the system, for the players that he needs to win us, to make it successful. And there's a lot of criticisms about yesterday, but I think if you look at the grit, you look at the determination, you look at the way the players keep fighting and the fought. I think there's a lot of positive taken out of it. We could have left. If under Ange, that would have been a 3 or 4-0. And I'm being honest with that. It could have been a 3 or 4-0. And I'm glad I'm seeing the progress we're making. I'm seeing where we're going, and I'm very happy to see where we're going. Gerard, I never said that. Oh, God's sake. Right. Okay. We've got Gerard said, Domo, we're already 5 points. Well, we're never going to win the league anyway, Gerard. Look, all of us, I said we'll get top 6, top 5 this season. Nobody's going to match Liverpool. Nobody's going to match Liverpool, Arsenal, or probably Manchester City. There's your top 3. Because of the amount of money they spent in the summer, for the amount of players they've brought in, we haven't spent nowhere near enough, and we haven't got the squad to match them either. So anyone thinks we're going to win the league, they're in deluded land. I think we got to look at the top 5, top 6, qualify for Europe. That is the main objective, and win a League Cup or an FA Cup. I really do think that. Why wrong? He bought us a cup after all. But Gerard, you're the one yourself that said Ange should be going. You look at Thomas Frank, and you look at Thomas Frank Tottenham, and you look at Ange Postecoglou Tottenham. Thomas Frank Tottenham, we're more organised. We're more professional in our job. Yes, yesterday wasn't pretty, but last season we would have lost that game. This season, we're more organised, that we kept going, and we started the game better as well. Brighton scored 2 goals against the run of play. We were the better side for the majority of that game. Yes, we made mistakes. Yes, there were some mistakes made. But I keep saying it. You look at the team under Ange Postecoglou. Yes, he won us a Europa League. Brilliant. Thank you, Ange. You're a legend. You'll never be forgotten. You're one of the 3 managers to win this European trophy. He will always go down in folklore of being a legend at Tottenham. But we move on. He was sacked because of his league performances wasn't good. He got 22 league defeats in the league. And you were one of the people, Gerard, who was saying he should be sacked. We had no chance in the league, and you knew it. We don't have any chance in the league this season. I said at the start of the season, Liverpool win the league. If we finish in the European place and win a cup, win a League Cup or win an FA Cup, then I think that's a good season. He said if we had won the Europa League and the FA, he would have still been. Look, we can be hypothetical with questions or hypothetical with how we see things. He didn't win an FA Cup. He won the Europa League, got us into the Champions League. Brilliant. But our league performances, 17th in the league, 22 league defeats, is not good enough. It's not where he should be. And he even said it himself. I knew I was getting the sack before the final. He knew he was going, win or lose that final, he was going anyway. And because he won that final, I think everyone got wrapped up within the emotion of winning the Europa League. Everyone got wrapped up within the emotion of us winning our first major trophy for 17 years. And people coming out saying, yeah, Ange should be kept on. He should be given another chance. He should be given the first 6 months of the season. You know, but you cannot forget what went on in the league. The league is your bread and butter. You can have you if you look at the European Cup or the Europa League, the Champions League or the Conference League, right? The league is your bread and butter. That's where you that is where you are you make your main bunch of your money for the club. And the higher you finish up that league, the more money you get. The more money you get means the more money you can spend on players. The more money you can spend on players means the better the squad's going to get. The better the squad's going to get means the more times you're going to qualify for Europe. The more chance you're going to get qualified for Europe, you're going to win the European competition or win a domestic cup. Yes, we won the Europa League. We've got to build on that now. And we are going to build on that under Thomas Frank. Thomas Frank's no mug. And I'm saying it again, and I said it already in the show, and I'll say it again, and I keep saying it. If that was Ange yesterday, we would have lost 4-0. Thomas Frank, that's why we got the point, because he organised us better. Big up to Colin as well. Big up to you, Colin. I hope you're doing well. So it says, big win for you yesterday as well, Colin. Manchester United beat Chelsea. Did watch it on Match of the Day. I thought, Casemiro, what was he thinking to get sent off, man? What was he thinking? But yeah, I think that Chelsea manager's got a few unhappy players in his squad. So Dermo, it's okay to finish 4th and 5th every year and win nothing because it's all about the money. Well, we did that on the 20 sort of years of Levy, didn't we? I never said that. To win competitions, you earn money as well. But you got to be realistic about it. You gotta be sensible about it. We ain't gonna win the league because we're nowhere good enough. We haven't got a squad to win the league. We're not gonna win the Champions League because we haven't got the squad to win the Champions League. If we get to the quarterfinals, I think that would be very successful quarterfinals for us. You got 3 priorities at the start of the season if you're Tottenham Hotspur. Win a domestic cup, qualify for the Champions League, and finish. You got two things to do as a manager: but qualify for the Champions League and win the domestic cup. Jared, we're not going to win the league. It's as simple as that. And you got to be you got to be a realist about it. You've got to be looking ahead. And I think we can win one of the domestic cups this year. I think we can win the League Cup. I really do. And I think we can qualify for Europe as well. I think just to make your point on the Europa League, by the way, and because we won the Europa League, if you look at our run to the final, they were all winnable games. Apart from, I think Frankfurt was the most difficult one out of the run. There was no really big teams in that Europa League to stop it because none of the Champions League came down into the Europa League. So you gotta look. We can all get wrapped up in the emotion of winning a trophy and all the emotions of winning the European trophy, but you also got to be realistic about it. Exactly. Big up to Luke Chapman as well. Big up, Luke. It says my Northampton Town lost. Very sad. Very happy on my way. Very, very happy. No, very. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Luke. Gerard says fans want cups, not 4th and 5th. Look, how many times have I said that on here, Gerard, that I want cups more than I would take finishing 10th and winning the cup? Of course I would. But you also got to be realistic about it as well. You've got to qualify for Europe. To buy the players you want to come to the team, you've got to be either in the Champions League or the Europa League. You've got to finish in the top half of the table to qualify for the European competitions to bring the players in. Do you know, I just don't know. What is Tommy Frank here to win? What exactly? A League Cup, FA Cup, and build a squad good enough and capable of challenging for the league. Do you know, we're not going to do it this year. I wasn't an Ange fan, but clearly, what is the blueprint now? The blueprint now is what I said. Is to win, is to qualify for Europe, win a domestic cup, and build a squad that's capable of qualifying and dominating and challenging for the league. That is your end goal. That is your end project, to win the Premier League. But we're not going to do it this season. We're not going to do it next season. We need a couple of windows to build a squad with the right players. The only time you're going to get the big players to come to your football club is if you're qualifying for the major European competitions. If you're not winning, qualifying for a major competition, then players ain't going to come. Footballers today are not like the footballers of the past, where it's all about glory for them. Footballers today is all about money. They're greedy son of a guns. All they think about is money. How much money can I earn? How much wages can I earn? It's the fans that want the trophies. It's us fans that want us to be successful on the pitch. But the only way you're going to do that, Jared, is qualifying for the major tournaments and then tempt and say, well, look, Tottenham's qualified for the Champions League. Okay, we're going to go and buy a decent striker. Everyone wants to play in the biggest league, European league in the world, and that's the Champions League. Keith Birkinshaw won a same cup and finished 10th. Why wasn't he sacked? Because Keith Birkinshaw had won 2 FA Cups, got us relegated, gained us out of the second division, built a side that was successful, that we were competing for trophies on all fronts. We won 2 FA Cups, reached the League Cup final, reached the European Cup Winners' Cup semi-final, finished top half of the league. I think we challenged for the league in 82, 83 or 81, 82. We were challenging for the league. And then won the UEFA Cup in 1984, and then left the football club because he was disillusioned with the way the club was being run. He was disillusioned of owners getting involved, Ivan Scholar getting involved in how the team should be picked and who should be brought in. That is the reason Keith Birkinshaw left. Keith Birkinshaw got us relegated. He took us down in 1977. Any manager, that would have been sacked. But if it wasn't for the Tottenham players to say to the board, we trust this manager, the board gave him time, and they gave him time to rebuild the team that was successful in the early 80s. It's all about, we've got to give Thomas Frank time to build a squad, to put a squad together that can challenge on all fronts. Right. Where am I going? Ange could have got us relegated with stupid decisions. Frank is working on the defence, which is why there is an improvement. But what he needs is to be back. He needs a left back and a striker and Johnny. I couldn't agree more, Wayne. I could not agree more. I said it the other day. We need a striker. We need a left back. But are we going to get everything done in January? No. I think we have to look at one position in January. Now, I would say a striker, personally, but maybe we need the left back as well. But next summer is the time we need to rally back Thomas Frank with players. But, you know, look, we're all old enough. We're all fans that have seen Tottenham over the years that we know what we have to do now. We've had 24 years of an owner, of a chairman, keeping us down. We now got the Lewis family who are saying they're going to back us. Well, let's see if the proof is in the pudding. And let's see if they can back Thomas Frank. And Thomas Frank is a good enough manager to get a success. We've got to be patient. We've got to give the man time. And the proof of it yesterday, I keep saying it again. Look at the performance yesterday. A year ago, we would have faltered. Yesterday, we didn't. Yes, it wasn't pretty. Yes, some players didn't play well, but we were good enough to get a point out of that game. And I think that point at the end of the season could mean a hell of a lot for us. I like Tommy Frank, but he protected the team yesterday. I don't think he did. I think he was very honest, Gerard, in his interview after the game. I don't think he did protect the players. I think it's very counterproductive if you're going to throw players under the bus. Because if you throw players under the bus, then what's that going to do? A, that's going to turn the player against you. B, that's going to start, within the squad, whisperings, well, that manager threw me under the bus. What happens if he throws you under the bus? I don't think he did protect it yesterday. So he said, what was you not starting for Gerard, please, what are you trying to say, man? Of course I was. But you have to be a realist as well. You have to be a realist in what you're looking at. We're not going to win the league. There's no hell's chance of we. If we win the league this year, I would do a stream, start raving naked, and that's how much faith I've got in saying that, because we ain't going to win the league this year. Liverpool are going to roll over everyone. They've already had 5 wins out of 5 playing piss ball. I think we've got a chance of Champions League. I really do. I think we're in the fight for the Champions League. I think we're in the fight for the top 7 in the league. I still think we could qualify Champions League, and I will put money on that. But I think if Thomas Frank is back properly next summer, let's get behind him, because we're not going to challenge. We're not going to challenge for the league next season, but maybe the season after we could be challenging for the league. Big up to you, Colin. He says, wait, are people not happy about that? You're third. I'm over the moon with third. If somebody said to me at the start of the season, Colin, right, Dermot, after 5 games, Tottenham will be third in the league, 1 point behind Arsenal, 6 points behind Liverpool, and you would have had 3 wins, 1 draw, 1 defeat. You've scored 10 goals and conceded 3. I would have bitten the hand off it. I would have bitten the hand off for that. I think after 5 games, that's laying the foundations. And I think he's laying the foundations to build on. We're going to have a really good season this year. I'm really excited by it. Jerry said, we don't know the terms of demands Levy made. What's it got to do with Levy anymore? Levy has nothing to do with it. And I don't think Daniel Levy hired Thomas Frank. I think it was Vinay that hired Thomas Frank. And you know as well as I, Gerard, you know as well as I do, that the first thing on any manager's contract is, I want my team in the Champions League. That is, that as well as I do. I would say that's in Amaron's contract as well. Maybe Colin can let me know. I say it's in managers. Any of the top 6 or 7 clubs in the Premier League, that one of their points is qualification for the Champions League. And then win a domestic cup, and then that I say they're the first 2. But that is the number 1 target. There's so much money within the Champions League now. There's so much money for going into that competition. Clubs are climbing over themselves to get there. And it's wrong. It should be about, winning domestic cups, winning an FA Cup, winning the League Cup. Because they do get you into European competitions. So ship that, but as well as I do, you got to be realist. You got to be realistic about it. Qualification is the top priority for the top 6, 7 clubs. I'm sure Eddie Howe's got that as well. Yeah, win us a trophy for Eddie at Newcastle. Win us a trophy for Eddie. Fantastic. But get us in the Champions League. I bet you anybody that in half the top 7, top 7 teams in the Premier League, their managers priority Champions League. It's sad, but it's true. Big up Philip. It said this season Spurs are more organized, focused, and filter nastier than we've been. Do you know what? I was just thinking that the other day. And it was something Jose Mourinho said. I was actually been rewatching the All or Nothing documentary on Sky. I wish to do another one because it was so good. And he was saying in the dressing room, we've got to be nastier. We've got to be a bunch of beep, beep, beeps. Do you know what I mean? And he's right. And we are. We are nastier. We are fitter. We're really fit. And we're more focused. And I think that's going to hold us in good stead. Not sure, Colin, but I wouldn't be surprised with I'm over the moon with it. And I know you are, Wayne. I would love to know if people are happy with Tottenham and third in league at the moment. I'm absolutely over it. As you said before, Andrew was not back. No, he wasn't back. And he wasn't backed by Daniel Levy. Now we've got to see if it was Daniel Levy or if it was the Lewis family. I'm still not convinced. I'm still convinced that the Lewis family would making Levy a bit of a scapegoat here. But the proof is going to be in the pudding. The proof is going to be to see who was the real problem. Was it Daniel Levy? Was it Joe Lewis? Now, with the Lewis children coming in, are they going to be more proactive in the transfer market? Are they going to say, okay, we're going to pump in 250 million? There you go, buy your players. Get Paratici back in and you're cooking. Big up. We're still got a work in progress, but improvement from last season. Cam it is so evident. It really is. Colin, so am I. How can you win if your hands are tied behind your back? But how do we know his hands are tied behind his back, Gerard? How do we know? We don't know. It seems to be, we have to see in January. We have to wait to January. We have to wait to next summer. But let's enjoy this. Let's enjoy what we're doing at the moment. Let's enjoy us being third in the league and really starting the season really well. I am so confused. So am I. I am so confused. So am I. Confused.com. What is the problem? I don't know what the problem is. Oh, Lord Jesus, Mary and Joseph and the wee donkey. Oh, I love doing these shows. Oh, Lord. We all wonder. I will do a show what happened to the wee donkey after Jesus was born. But big up to everyone. That's right. So why didn't Ange get that type? What? That's right. So why didn't Ange get that? I don't know what you're on about, Joe. Sorry. Keith Birkinshaw left because I know I said that earlier, Philip, that he left because of Scholar. We all know he left because of Scholar because he was getting in there. Ange is a one-trick pony. His tactics were Sussex. Well, if anyone's watching from Sussex, I do apologise. We don't mean to call you a one-trick pony, but yeah. Look, you and me love Ange because of what he done at Celtic, Philip, to be fair. And I said to you, I don't know if you can back me up in the chat, but I said to you before Ange came in, I wanted Thomas Frank in as manager. We weren't unhappy with Ange coming in, but the problem is you want a manager who can adapt, and Thomas Frank adapts. Nottingham Forest are finding out very quickly that Ange Postecoglou does not adapt. We are going to get the Forest fan that we had on over the summer on again to talk about. Me and Tequila are going to get him on to talk about Ange Postecoglou. Oh, Lord, it makes me laugh. Big up to Brenny. I don't know if you're happy or sad tonight, Brenny, with the 1-1 draw. Evening, my friend. Evening to all in the chat. Big up to you, Brenny. Let me know how you're feeling, brother. Let me know how you're feeling. Ange tactics were great at the start. Then teams, they worked us out very, very, very quickly. Bit of positivity, please. We are third and not top, not bottom. Can enjoy it. I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying this. I think it's great. And I think we're in a fight for the Champions League now. I really do. And I'm going to say it now. I think we can qualify for the Champions League. I know Tequila's probably, and Colin and James and Philip Brady are looking there. Please do not go there. But deluded me. We're qualifying for the Champions League. Gerard says Poch cleaned up the club after one season. Yeah, he did. He also Liverpool got a lot. That's the thing, though, Gerard. If you're going to win the league, you're going to need luck, right? And they've not been playing brilliantly, Liverpool. Everton should have got a point yesterday against them, to be fair. But what worries me is Liverpool winning by playing badly. If Liverpool kick into gear, that's really going to worry me. That's really going to worry me. New manager had 5 real games to sit in third, and people are happy. We're in the top half table. I say you are. I mean, I'm really pleased for you yesterday to get that win over Chelsea, Colin. When we do play Man United, we are going to link up with the Manchester United agenda and do a pre-match bit of bantering before that game. So yeah, I was really pleased. I want to know what you think, Colin, about Casemiro. Were you happy with him? Because I think he really, look, my own opinion, I think he got sent off needlessly. I don't think he needed to do what he did. But I think the referee also should have taken the conditions of the conditions of the rain, of the pitch, of players that are going to slide. You know, the balls is not going to zip around like it would do. So, do you think the referee should have been a bit more use common sense with Casemiro, or what? I would love to know what you think. So let me know, guys. Dermo, you know it. I know it. We have beaten teams like Brighton and Palace and Bournemouth. We beat home and away. We are to be taken serious. Hang on, sorry. Dermo, you know it, and I know it. we have to beat teams like Brighton and Palace home and away. Yeah, that is true. But I was always brought up under the assumption, and Mr. Brady always said it to me as well. I have to say, um, you win your home games and you get at least a point away from home. That was always the main thing. We've done that. Yes, we've lost to Bournemouth, but Bournemouth are a good side. Bournemouth are a very well organised side. There's no easy games in the Premier League. Do you know? I get what your point, and I do understand what you're saying. I do agree in what you're saying, but I think you got to be a bit. You got some of these teams are really, really getting good. Wolves next 9 points. Yeah, I'm surprised with Wolves, Philip. I'm shocked with Wolves. Gerard is saying, Dermo, we are a massive club, stepped in history, which I know. We have a right the club to be challenging for cups and titles. Small club thinking must end. It's not a small club thinking, it's being realistic. Yes, we are a massive club. Yes, Tottenham Hotspur Football Club is a massive club around the world. Manchester United are bigger than us. Liverpool are a bigger name around the world than us. But we are a big club too. Yes, we can be challenging for the cups. I think we have a right to challenge for the cups. We have no right to challenge for the league because haven't got a squad good enough to win the league. You look at, we can't win the league. We haven't got a striker. We haven't got a left back. We need a few more positions filled. But we have the nucleus of a really tight and challenging squad. We can add to it. But I think this season, look, after what we had last season, this season we gotta be prepared. We've got to take the rough of the smooth, and also we've got to be all in to win the cup competitions and finish high enough in the league. And I think if we can win a League Cup and finish in top 5, that for me will be a successful season. Win an FA Cup, finish in Champions League, I think that would be an exceptional season. Even if we get far in the cup competitions, quarterfinals of the Champions League, semi-finals of the League Cup, say semi-finals of the FA Cup, and qualify for the Champions League after last season, I think that would be an exceptional season too. And that's just me being a realist. I have to be realistic about it. I can be delusional all I want. I can be, yeah, we're going to win the league. Yeah, the quad is on. Come on, we can do it. You got to be sensible with it. You got to look at what we can achieve. And I think, yes, we should be challenging for the league, and we will do that in a couple of season times. I think if they back the manager correctly with the right players, and we could qualify for the Champions League, because that's the only way players are going to come to this football club. Really good, great players will only come to your football club if you're constantly in the Champions League. If you're qualifying for the Conference League or qualifying for the Europa League, you're going to get Conference League and Europa League players. If you're constantly qualifying for the Champions League, you can go out and get Champions League players. Also, you've got to be on it to win domestic competitions as well. You've got to be there. You've got to be fighting on all fronts. And this is why we brought Thomas Frank in, because he's a manager that can compete on all fronts. Ange Postecoglou couldn't compete on all fronts. He just can compete on one front. That was all. We need a manager to compete on all fronts. Okay, Gerard, question for you. Is your squad better than Liverpool and Arsenal and City? I can answer for my own opinion. No. Look, on Arsenal, Man City and Liverpool, not a chance. I think we got a slightly... With Arsenal, I think it's a bit even, if I'm being honest, Colin. If we lose to Donny, then what will you say? I would say, congratulations, Donny. You were the better side on the night, and we move on. And use different tactics, and he didn't really use different tactics. I think he was more pushed into that by the players, to be fair, Gerard, than him. Yeah, I think it's more the players, to be fair. Most telling yesterday was Romero laughing in the face of the guy who scored on pure shit. I loved it too. I saw that. I saw also him giving that to the referee as well, Philip, as well, which was good crack. Big up to man. Gerard, so why didn't he use the tactics in that? Very true, Gerard. Very true, Wayne. We got unfair to well look, people and the media especially can be very the media can be very nasty at times. But look, I look, I think if you're going to make mistakes and you're going to say stupid things in press conferences and you're not going, if you're giving out to the fans, I think people are going to turn on you very quickly. And I think you see what you if he accept what he rewarded, he was very nasty towards the fan base. Of course, the fan base are going to turn on them. Of course, they are. Arsenal were very good today. Deserve to win. Philip, how can you say things like that? Okay, Brenny's in there. Yeah. Anyway, peed off with the result. Arteta carried this at home. Starting 11 was a joke. Get the squad now. Even Stevie Wonder can see the manager is a problem. Oh dear, do you know? There's always there's an old saying: Tottenham will shine in Arsenal's demise. Yeah, there you go, Rennie. Sorry about that. I've got vertigo, but I know I got a nosebleed. You know, I have to. You know, it's unreal, Wayne. It's unreal. Big up to big up with Column. In my opinion, it was a harsh second yellow. I thought it was actually, to be fair, but it is what it is. Casemiro's experience and should have known it would have been a yellow. Yeah, but what impressed me yesterday was I felt Manchester United was controlling that game. And then when it went to 10-10, it got a bit nervy. But I think that result could be the turning of your season, Colin, in my opinion. I really do. It could be the turning for Amaron. It could be the turning for your season. Big up to Gerard. Dermo, it was the same since we were kids. We've always left a few players to take us over the line. Can you see it change it? I can. Hopefully I can. Wonder what the lineup with Doncaster. Oh, that's going to be. I am going to do a predicted lineup tomorrow for that game, so I'm really going to have to start to think how that lineup's going to look. Might be a bit shambolic, but I'm going to have a look. Arsenal are not much ahead of us. No, they're not. I agree with you, Gerald. I think Liverpool, Man City have got squads are far better ahead of us, but I think we're just on level peg with Arsenal. There is no way Xavi should be at Spurs without Champions League. Yeah, exactly. And that's why they came. And that's why I think these players will come. He says, "Don't worry, you're not entertained." I'm always entertained. You know that. And Brenny's just laughing. He's rolling around his sitting room laughing. He's in stitches because he's just saw Arteta trying to put out an Arsenal 11. And he's just found it so funny. It says, "I wanted Frank 2 seasons ago to go to replace Arteta. I would take my pass." Well, look, you could have got Ange Postecoglou in the summer. I mean, he was free to take you over. I mean, he could have done a good job for you. But guys, if you are liking this, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscription if you can as well. We're on the march to 2,200. Love to get there before the Donny game or before the Premier League next Saturday for the Wolves game. So let's do that. Also, pick up your memberships. The link is at the top of the thing. Before I get into the stats and what Thomas Frank had to say yesterday, I have a little housekeeping to do. It is our channel sponsor, Private Internet Access, the only place you can never ever be without watching the mighty Tottenham Hotspur. Forget about 3 o'clock kickoffs. Please hit the link in the description below. It is €45, I think, for 2 years, plus 2 months free on the end of that as well. So it's a great deal. We get a little bit back for it as well because they're our channel sponsor for the 25-26 season. But to tell you more about it and to explain to you in a better way that I can is our resident Doncaster Rovers fan who's going to, I think he's going to the game on Wednesday. Maybe let me know in the chat if he's going to the Donny game. And to see us, you know, to see the greatest stadium in the world. But you don't hear it from me. Here's Colin.
Let me talk to you. A little reference there. But I'm going to stop messing about. I'm going to talk to you about Private Internet Access, the best VPN in the land. Now, when you're online, you may not realize, but all of your data is there for the taking by anybody. With a VPN such as private internet access, your data is safe and secure, streamlined, and nobody else can get hold of it. That's why I use one anyway. VPN's very easy to use. Private internet access, all you got to do is log on your phone, select where you want to be. So I want to be in America, and I click go, and there we are. You can also link up your devices to it from your phone if that is easier for you. It's available on a lot of platforms as well. As you can see, and you can use it for a very, very big range of things. So that's even better as well. You can use it, like I said, on all your devices, smartphone, tablets, gaming consoles, and stick it on your modem. And it's unlimited devices. One equals all. It's available all across the world, and it works perfectly. What they do is they mask your IP address, so pesky 3 o'clock kickoffs aren't an issue anymore, and they're independently audited, so there's no logs, 30 million customers, and 4.5-star Trustpilot rated excellent review. Private internet access. Get yours now.
And the link for that is in the description below, guys. If you can link that, I would be really, really appreciated. It is a great service to have. I just read something, right? I'll let you know if I get into stats of the game, guys, right? That the fastest players to reach 100 goals for a club in European's top five leagues are Cristiano Ronaldo for Real Madrid and Erling Haaland from Manchester City. Both did it 105 games. Harry Kane, one of our own, has now has 98 goals in 103 games for Bayern. He can break the record with a brace against Werner Bremer on Friday. So that will be interesting to see, actually. It really will. But guys, let's get on with it. This was the stats of yesterday. Look, stats wise, I think we dominate the stats. We have more possession than them. We had more, they had more shots on target, one more, but shots on target, total shots and shots on targets, they edged it a little bit. 87.7% passing success rate to 76.1. Clear-cut chances, 1 all. The player ratings I've given for this game was a Vicario a 5. I thought it was at fault for both goals, to be fair. I thought the first one, I watched it again, a match today, and I said it in the watch along, but it really confirmed what I was thinking, that it was caught in no man's land. He came out and he thought, well, I can't go back now and I can't go forward. And he just got totally lost. And I think for the second goal, though it was a cracking goal, it really was a cracking goal. He did get a hand of it, and he tried to push it around the post. If he pushed it upwards, I think it would have gone over the bar. So I think he made the judgment there. But look, his start of the season's been fantastic. I know Thomas Frank wasn't happy with him, but look, it is what it is. The back four, I've gone with your doggy. A doggy 7. I thought he was exceptional yesterday. I thought he had a really good first game back. I thought he was brilliant. I thought Van der Ven and Romero, who did get booked, by the way, were okay. They were solid. I thought Romero led by as a proper captain should. Porro for me was a bit of a disappointment. Didn't really get into the game much. Bentancur as well, very much didn't get into the game. Disappeared a bit during the game. Thought Palunia again was solid enough. Not a great game, but he wasn't bad either. So a good solid 7 for him. Bergville as well. I thought Bergville didn't have the greatest game in the world. Made the mistake for the second goal. Needlessly kicked it out. I said it in the watch along yesterday that if he kicked it against the Bournemouth player and went out for a throw-in, I think that would have given Tottenham a bit for breathing space. But he rushed it, he kicked it out, it went to their number 26, and that curly put on the ball was exceptional. It was a cracking goal, I have to say. As for the front three, I thought Odegaard was extremely poor yesterday. Please never play him again. He was woeful. Didn't track back, didn't help your doggy. He gave away the ball for the opening goal. For me, I looked offside to me, but it was proven it was just that much onside. I thought Richarlison again, I never thought I'd say this, but I can't wait for Solanke to get back because we can't do any worse than Richie up front. Did get a goal. That's where he's got the green. But didn't do much else. Was he fouled before the second goal Brighton scored? Yes or no? It's a harsh one because it looked like a foul on Richie, but Richie did back into him. So did the referee thought, well, you backed into him, it's not a foul. So I don't know. And kudos for me. Look, a lot of people thought Kudos had a bad game. I thought he had a really good game. He really did run down that wing. Like he really owned the fullback yesterday. And I thought he had a good. That's why I gave him an 8. And that's why I gave him my man of the match, because I thought he was best. Now the players you can see in different color codes. Now, of course, the yellows are course players that have been booked. The green is for players that scored, but the orange are for the players that were substituted. So Odegaard, Bergville, Bentancur, and Porro were substituted. The players that came on was Xavi Simons on the 61st minute, Brennan Johnson on the 72nd minute, and then 89 minutes each for Bergville and for Jed Spence, coming on for Archie Gray, coming on for Bergville, and Jed Spence coming on for Porro. They weren't on the field long enough to get for me to get a rating, so that's why they got an NA. But Brennan Johnson, what can I say about Brennan Johnson? Brennan Johnson for me, right? And I'm a big fan of Brennan Johnson, and I've stuck by him, and I've rarely stuck by the lad, and I did last season, but his head is not in the game. Either Thomas Frank's system doesn't suit him, or his head's not in the game. He zeds up his own ass by scoring the winner goal in the Europa League. I just feel he needs to somebody needs to go up to him and give him a dressing down of going missing in games. He came on and disappeared. He literally disappeared when he came on yesterday. Literally disappeared when he came on yesterday. For me, Xavi came on and changed the game. He sparked Tottenham into their revival yesterday. Absolutely exceptional performance yesterday. So I gave him an 8. So join with him and Kudos, but I think Kudos gets man of the match because he was on there longer. But for me, Brennan Johnson, woeful. Absolutely woeful. To Frank on why he felt Spurs' most complete performance of the season, he said, I know we conceded 2 goals. It's never that black and white. So one where we would say, I should take it. The second is okay, we conceded the goal. That can happen. It's just the Premier League. It's good. But besides that, I thought we defended well overall. I thought the high pressure was very aggressive, and we were winning the ball back more and less all the time, which we like to do. I think in phase 1, we got out every time, more or less. We controlled it up there. We created so many good opportunities, and we had to counter press and rest defending crosses. So there's a lot of bits we like to do because of that. And then the top of that, the mentality to come back from 2-0 down was so important. And it was. And I think it's that last bit, the comeback from 2-0 down, I think shows a lot of resilience and shows a lot of character to do that. The Spurs bus on Mohamed Kudus is, I think, 2 things have impressed me. One, his work ethic has been really good. It's a big for me how hard he works in the counter press, high press, and defensive side of it. But his hold up play, when it goes into him, it just sticks. You can't get it off him. So he just keeps it. He doesn't lose a 50-50 ball. And then the third thing is his one-on-one ability is crazy. He is so strong. He's so explosive. He just dominates the right-hand side. And he did that yesterday. He dominated that right-hand side. And I think if you're looking at Brennan Johnson should be looking at Kudus and thinking, right, I want to be like him. How do I be like him? I'm going to have to work hard and be like him. But for me, look, for me, it is, I think Kudus was absolutely brilliant. But guys, that is it. That's the end of the show. I was only going on for trying to get it for under the hour. I'm pleased that I have. So I'll go over these last few comments and then we will call it shift. We're back on tomorrow at 8. I think Tequila's joining me tomorrow when we've got the Spurs recap show going over the last week at Tottenham, and then looking ahead to the week ahead at Tottenham. Sam Allardyce is free, Brenny. Oh, free. And then Brenny said, no way, Big Sam. I'll pick up the rain. Potter should be available soon. Reckon he'll do a good job for Arsenal. I reckon so too. Get him in there. Big up to Dan Davenport. Hey, Dermot. I read somewhere Damien Duffy's been linked with the Republic of Ireland job as are struggling to we ain't going to qualify for the World Cup with that shit. Dermot, how long will Tommy last at the club? Well, forever. 3 years. Need a keeper. Said that to you. I don't think Vicario's that bad, Gerard. Look, every keeper can make mistakes, but I just think every keeper can have a bad game, can make a mistake. But I think he is a good keeper. Other than that, Odegaard to be sold in January, not up to it. No, I agree with that. Dermot, what about my mate Biss? As soon as he goes, the better. Gray to be sold too. Your mate Brendan. Look, I am going to do a show on Brendan Johnson, to be fair. I think it needs to be done. And then Dermo, bring back Mido. Oh, God, no. Please, no. Guys, that is it. Thank you all for watching. Please hit the like button. Please hit the subscription button as well. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified for future shows coming up. Tomorrow, we've got the... show at 8, Spurs recap show. Tuesday, I think at 1 o'clock, we've got me and Dave's podcast, Irish Lads Talk Spurs at 1. And then we've got, I think, a show at 8 for the pre-match before the Donny games. We're going to go over through that. There will be a predicted lineup show video out on Tuesday night or Wednesday morning. And then we've got all the build-up to the game. And then on Thursday, I will be back in my little cubby hole. I will be back in my own space, and I'll be in all the post-match. Final score of Doncaster Rovers will be done at 8. But guys, thank you all for watching. Really enjoyed the show. It's great doing these with you. Please do hit the like and subscribe. It really means a lot for us. Smaller channels don't get out there much. The bigger channels do. So YouTube seems to look after the bigger channels. But look, come on, let's get this small little channel out there. Let's get the momentum going. Let's get up to 3K before as fast as we can and get up that ladder. But thank you all for watching. Come on, you Spurs. Come on, Donny. I'm looking forward to that game, actually, Colin. Yeah, I'm going to have to talk to you about that, actually, before that. I think, James, because I'm sort of busy Wednesday night, I've got a family commitment thing to do. I think James is doing the watch along, but I'll make sure I'll be around to do all the stuff beforehand. But I think James is doing the watch along, and I'll be back on Thursday, I think, with James as well. I would do the final scores, so go over the game and look at the draw, who we get in the next round. But I'm not, look, it's going to cup football. It can be a banana skin. Who knows? But look, I'm looking forward to it. Big up to you, Colin. And big up to everyone. Come on, you Spurs. In Thomas Frank, we trust. We never stop. We're going to win something this year under Thomas. Oh, bloody hell. Let me change it. Sorry, I was going to change the outro, but the outro's been changed to something different. So I've got to change it. So talk amongst yourselves for a few seconds. There you go. All done. Anyway, what's he saying? Who don't he get in the next round? You mean, yeah, that's so true. I'm not looking forward to that on that bombshell. Come on, you Spurs. In Big Thomas Frank, we trust. See you later. Bye-bye.
From lane to far and wide, with the pride of the fight. On this journey we'll ride, with our passion burning.